Good morning, friends. In my series of ancient manuscripts, this is the third manuscript that I will be talking about, and it is about giants. The Book of Giants is the most controversial book ever found, and the description of giants are found in all the religious books. But the first book that was found was in Syria, the Book of Giants, which has many descriptions, though later on it is written in all the scriptures that the very fact that giants did prevail, and still we have people who are very gigantic also, still. If from the biblical narratives, there are many things written about them. Though the earth was about 3.6 million years old when actually the life started, and the earth was much smaller, started increasing slowly and slowly. Because the earth was smaller, the gravity was also very less, and because of the gravity being less, the creatures were more taller, be it dinosaurs, human race, that whatever started was very gigantic. In today's time, earth is about 4.6 million years estimated old, much larger. Therefore the gravity is also less, and the shortening of the length and height of the living beings started happening. But we still have very gigantic animals like whales, elephants, giraffes, many more. The proof that the gigantic living things were there. There are about, the book is actually translated in about 7 languages. The Greek, Persian, Bulgar, Sodomian, many, 7 of them. It is written in the biblical narrative that when the fallen ones, fallen angels, saw the women of the earth, they found them very beautiful and fell in love with them. They captured them, and then the Nephilims were born. The other name for the giant is the Nephilims, and they were very in nature, very, they had the anger in them, they had destructive habits in them, they were killing, looting, destroying things a lot. And therefore God says, the flesh has become too powerful, the age will be less. 120 years will be that age. It's written in the Genesis, Book of Genesis. If you read the other scriptures, in the Hindu scripture also there is Daityas. They were born, they are giants. They were born out of sage Kashyap and Diti. And these gigantic creatures, people were always fighting against gods, the godly people, because of their anger and destructive quality they had. In other also chapters it is written about, if you read the chapter of Samuel, you will find the Goliath whom David had killed with the pebble and a sling, who was fighting for the Syrians and killing. Then we have many more. When God had sent the Israelites to, after crossing the river of Jordan, to go to the other land, and they came back frightened that people are very, very tall and gigantic there. Their temper is very bad. How will we survive there? The Onyx. So these names of the giant is there. There is another giant which is written about whom it is written about, Shamsiah, who has two very rowdy children, Ohaya and Haya. And they were again terrifying the human race there, which was that time prevailing. So the human and the giants were always there. Again, when Moses had asked Joshua, in Deuteronomy you can see, all the descriptions are really given in this video, you can see them. And they came back and they said there are very, very large, gigantic people there. And the walls of that city is as high as the sky. So we see, if you see in Machu Picchu and Peru and Sacsayhuama, the gigantic pillars are kept. Who kept them? How? There's no foundation, but they are kept as if picked and kept. And over it, more and more gigantic stones are kept and made. The civilization was there. Who was putting them? Who was bringing? Who was carrying those rocks? What was the technology? What were they doing? This is what gives the proof that giants were there always. And still, after the flood that happened, we still have them. The bloodline is still there. Especially in the place which is known there was a king of Bashan known as Og, O-G. He was a gigantic person, very, very furious in his nature. Bashan is nowadays called as Golan Heights. The Golan Heights is a very precious place, and it is on a more than 1,000 elevation up, and the Sea of Galilee and Jordan River are the sources from where it comes. They have the sources there, and it's a very, very precious place for people for fighting. The Jordanians, the Israelites, everybody is fighting. Nowadays it is under Israel. This is where the gigantic people lived. A whole lot of skeletons, whole lot of things are being found. And it is not that it is not here. It is still, we have one Khalil. I remember I had gone to meet my sister who was then living in Dubai. Her family had invited me and for vacation, and we went to that Dubai festival. And then suddenly we heard that Khalil has come. I also wanted to see. So and definitely when I looked up at him, he was like a huge, humongous person, big, so big that I couldn't even lift my eye up to see the complete of him. He was so gigantic. He looked like a grasshopper in front of such a huge man. And this is what happened. The generation is still there. People are still there. The bloodline is still there. But if you read the book of Josephus, who was a historian, and he says in his writings that they were dreamers, they were prophetic people. This Noah, who is the seventh generation from the first man Adam, he was just taken away. He was a huge man. Giants were there. And when these people, the giants, were having certain dreams, one of the giant, who was, his name was Mahula, and he saw a dream that a huge plate, round plate, went under the sea. When it came up, it had 3 names written on it. Then another giant also saw a dream, whose name was Varikal. His son, 2 sons, saw the same dream. There is a tree which has been uprooted, and only three roots are still in the ground left. So by the time Enoch had gone, he was with God. They wanted to know, so they had sent on a celestial journey Mehula, one of the child of a giant, and he asked Noah about the dream. He said, "You go and I will give you the answer later. I'll have to ask God." And then the answer came that there will be a great flood. The world will drown and finish. Only three will be left. Therefore, the Noah's flood in the time, and his three sons. And from his three sons, the second son, Shem, is the generation of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the Israelites. So, these were prophetic people also. They were dreamers also. So that kind of things were there in them. Highly evolved people, very, very highly evolved people. If you read the book of Gilgamesh also, who was the king of Uruk, the present-day Iraq, he was a man of a great height, though he was very different also, not entirely a human being. And then his body was also lately found, which has been kept a secret. Many, many ways, many places, the description of giants have been given in the various religious books, as well as certain excavations. The gigantic bones and skeletons have been found. Therefore, the book of giant, and in the biblical narratives as well as in the other scriptures, the giants did prevail, and during that time they were able to go to the other parts of the world on the celestial journey to other planets, other places. They were more highly evolved people. They knew a lot. They could do more. So the book of giant that was found and read has a lot of meaning. And I feel, as a human being, we do all have certain giants within us. These giants had only fear of one thing, and that was fire. And the fire was used by the people of the world that time, who were being tortured by them. These giants would live in the cave. And the people of the world that time would put a lot of hair, stalk, and branches of the tree and set fire, so that they can't come out. Charged body skeletons of these giants have been found. So the fear was only fire for them, nothing more. We as human, it is my thinking, we all have these giants in us. The giant of having a fear that could just finish us, because at times we get this kind of fear of certain things, but we should not have. If you have the faith in your God, why would you fear? There are giants in the form of many, many things in other people who will try and suppress you, dominate you, and bring destruction, try and hurt you, just bring destruction into your life. And then these giants do finish if you don't have any fear. Fear might destroy you, but the great giants within the human race is still there, having bad temper, dominating people, being harsh to people, being too angry with people, abusive, many, many characters which are not good for the human race to survive. They hurt themselves by doing that. If that gigantic things are removed from our life, there won't be any fear. The book of Giant was very interesting when I did the research for all those things, from where I have taken my all these description and about them. Kindly see the videos. Lot of hard work I put in to make these manuscripts, ancient manuscripts, compile them and make a video in a short form for people to understand. A very nice Sunday to you. Have a happy life. Enjoy your day, and do subscribe, watch, and do like my channel Words of Wisdom decoded by Anita Binepa. And this is Anita Binepa speaking from Mussoorie. Thank you so much for watching and God bless you all.